is $1, but tomorrow it's become to be $10, which means 10% appreciation, then the gateway will take some of your tokens, sell it into the market, but you will reduce that appreciation by 50%, which means to $5. So what that means, it's always going to allow the token in the market to keep appreciating, but every day will take a little bit of the liquidity that exists in the market from appreciation, and it will drive it to basically to the dumper shield to buy out the biggest dumpers, wherever is the biggest dumper and is the bigger risk for the token, the community, it will be bought first, right, and removed from the dumper shield. Now, in the dumper shield, there is one more thing I want to cover because it's also important for you, which is something called positions. So what that means is that when you have in the dumper shield, and by the way, dumper shield also going to have virtual vaults soon. So unlike the guy that parked $5,000 or $6,000, he actually parked money. With the virtual vault, you don't need to. You can put money in your virtual vault and you can place as many orders that you like. It doesn't cost you anything. And only when your order gets accepted, then your money will be in use. So that will allow you to place a lot of order with the same money. And we have positions in the dumper shield, first, second, and third position. What that means is that if somebody investing in Smart, it will be first position, right? If somebody bought a token, it will be first position. But if somebody relocate, right? Let's say somebody transfer from Smart to Degen, from Degen to PDO, from PDO to dumper shield. If somebody moving between all our tokens, it will be able to move with the same face value. Now, why it's important? It's important because if you invest in a project that we built, I talked a few minutes ago that building something that people need is priority number one. Generate income stream is priority number two, right? But you do understand that it's not make sense, absolutely not make sense, that all our projects are going to make it. It's impossible. 98% of the startups fail. So you cannot accept that if we have 10 or 20 projects, that all of them will be successful. It's impossible, right? So what happens if you invest in the wrong project? Let's say you bought a token of Smart and it did great, but whoever invested in Degen did wrong, or whoever buy PDO did it better. What happened when suddenly one of the projects become to be a unicorn, but the one that you invest in not? Or what happened that you invest in a unicorn and your project become to be 100 or 1000x, but there is no enough daily liquidity, right? The fact that you made money on paper doesn't mean that you can exit immediately, right? What if there is not enough liquidity in the market for you to exit? So the idea of the router, it will allow you to move, to relocate your token between all our projects. So if you suddenly see a NFT token or dumper shield token that is about to boom and you think that it's better for you to change position, you'll be able with the same face value, right, of whatever your token is, to basically burn it and get a new token into that new project, but you will come as a second position. What that means is that when the gateway will drive liquidity to user behind the dumper shield, it will first satisfy the first position. Think about it like in the real world, it's called like in the stock, right? When you have stock in the company, think about it like preferred stock. They will be satisfied first because they invest in that project, but whoever transfer from different project will be right after them as a second position. And once we will do marketing, and we have a big plan to do marketing and give away token and compensate people and do farming, it will be unfair to place those people that receive token for free in the same position that those that actually bought it for money. And therefore, there will be number three, there will be third position. So what that means is that it's not really hurting those that invest in that project because they will satisfy first and exit first, but it will allow you to relocate between all those projects, which means if we have a 10 or 20 project and even one of them will become to be a unicorn, that means that you will have an exit strategy. If one of them will be a unicorn, you even can pull the other alongside with them. But I want to be clear that we are working very hard, barely sleeping, in order to create something that people need, in order to pursue the goal of generate income streams, so the product will have kind of a buy pressure to buy the token, but none of them guarantee the success of the project at the end. There is still bad statistic in many ways down the road, and it's not easy to create a winner. But once we'll create it, we'll allow you to basically move between the winners as much as you want it, right? So basically, that's the idea of the dumper shield, right? So we cover basically what is the new Smart. So the new Smart is basically layer 2 virtual wallet. And also people ask about what's the plan, when the token himself going to be launched. Now, beside the dumper shield that preventing for people to dump the token, we have another technology that we built, which is basically called DREX, Decentralized Regulation Exchange, which is basically the first of its kind decentralized regulation exchange in the world. We spent a lot of time to build it in order to make sure that you will come with circuit breakers, which mean when you basically launching that, there is bond structure instead of token, there is a decentralized regulation with circuit breakers and secure protection to protect your money when people interact with that. Now, one of the things that we decided to do 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we decided that all the technology that we built in order to create a DREX, we decided why the heck are we going to build a DEX which is better than other DEXs instead of doing piggybacking on the best DEX in the world. And again, like we pivot smart, and we don't want smart anymore to do cross-chain, but we want it to be on top of all the cross-chain in the market and expedite them. Same thing with DREX. So DREX will become to be basically a layer 2 for Uniswap version 4. So if some of you heard about Uniswap version 4, it's a new layer that will allow basically development on top of Uniswap, which means the pools will belong to Uniswap, the security will be audited by Uniswap, the liquidity will drive from Uniswap, but basically layer on top of that will be able to be built in the way that the developer interesting. And we already finished to build everything in a way that will allow to have circuit breakers and secure floor and dynamic fees and dumper shield protection building. So what I mean by that is that once we will launch our token, or actually once Uniswap version 4 will be live, right now it's under testing, but they give us an access in order to work with that and develop the DREX. So once they're going to do that, probably before the bull market will start, once they will go live with version 4, I don't think there will be a chance for other DEXs. I don't know how many DEXs going to survive. I don't think many. I think there will be very few, right? There maybe 2, 3, 4 that will compete, but I think the rest of them, especially the copy-paste version 2 that exists out there, I think they're gone. I think the rest in peace. So I think you will see a lot of movement for people building on top of Uniswap, and we already finished to build it. And right now we communicate with them in order to do testing. So the moment that they will do that, we'll do a lot of PR and everything. So DREX is the first of its kind, the world's first layer 2 on top of Uniswap version 4, which means from day one, there will be tons of liquidity on DREX, but there will be circuit breakers that will allow basically to the LP to decide how to control the pool from surprises and dumping and everything. A lot of moving parts that basically kind of changing the game of how everything being created in the DEX world, right? It's really something new that never been done before. So that's the idea of what we're building. Let's see if I can show you here. I think you wanted to go to testnet. Yeah, so basically this technology is different than a regular DEX, right? It's not the same like regular DEX that you had liquidity or working with that, because you have a circuit breakers that allow to have maximum slippage per transaction, maximum slippage per day, or if there is a big dumping, there is fluctuation with the dynamic fees that preventing that. There is no front running attack. It's really superior technology. And if you think about it, I think somebody compared the crypto market to the New York Stock Exchange 1920s, you know, the big dump. And I think what happened that changed the game with the stock market was the circuit breakers. That's what really changed the game in the market and make it more sustainable. So those circuit breakers will change the game when it comes to DEXs and how they operate it. And like I said, it's first of its kind, layer 2 on top of Uniswap. Let's see what else we need to cover. By the way, when it comes to marketing, I have to say that when we raise money, we didn't take under consideration marketing. We took under consideration biz development, but not marketing. because originally our plan was to be B2B, which means basically to give licensing for other projects. But then we realized, oh, and another thing that we thought is that whoever invests kind of was obligated to contribute to the project and help out, right? People say back then, hey, I will help, be hands-on, I will bring added value. Guess what? I can count on my two hands how many basically people really help us, and the other majority of the investor never moved the finger. So I'm not going after them and say, hey, you promised, but that's reality, right? It's hitting you in the face. So helping that been promised as part of the investment never took place. That being said, when we want to offer for people to basically to have a licensing, we also realize that projects do not want to take a license for something that they don't know yet if it's working. Think about it. Nobody wants to clone Uniswap when it's just started. But once it proves himself, suddenly everybody wants it, right? So we realized that we have to basically promote our own project as a B2C as well in order to show that it's working. So since we had a budget for BizDev, but not marketing, we basically doing two stuff. Number one, right now we are hiring 20 people for the BizDev. It doesn't mean that we'll keep 20 people. In the world of the BizDev, a lot of people coming with a lot of promising, exactly like other people. And we'll hire 10 people for PDO, 10 people for the Dumper Shield, in order to drive basically project to use it. And then out of those 10 of each project, we will basically decrease and decrease until we'll end up with one of two per project to stay for long term. So it's kind of a take a big group and see who is the best to keep for long term. Same thing we will do with Smart. We'll basically take a big group of BizDev and basically try to promote it to collaboration, and then end up with one of two that will stay as a full-time to support that. We don't have a marketing budget, but we do have a PR budget, and we have a BizDev budget that we took under consideration. We have a project that we built, which is first of its kind, DeFi for NFTs, right? It's something new that never been seen before, and we're about to do fundraising for that very soon. And the goal of that money will be basically to use as a marketing for the entire ecosystem of quantum finance, smart, DGen, and everything else. So our next basically fundraising will be focusing only on marketing and not development anymore. Now we have enough money to build all the projects that we plan. We have enough money to do pivots. We took under consideration 3 to 5 pivots for those projects, so it's reasonable. We took it on, and by the way, I don't know if some of you understand the numbers, but when you're building a project that is a copycat, sometimes you need a few weeks to a month or two to copy, right? When you're building something new, sometimes you need 6 to 12 months just to have it up and running, but then see if you need a pivot, it may take another 3 to 6 months. So when you're doing 3-4 pivot, having something over 2-3 years, it's completely reasonable, right? Now that's for the project. And when the bull market will start, it's reasonable to have the token launch. For example, Cardano launched the token during the bull market, even though the tech is not ready yet, but they had the bull market behind them to basically drive the momentum. So when there is a bull market, it's a good time to launch token. Doesn't matter if your project is ready or not. And if you have income stream for the project, then you can obviously open the door and launch token even during a bear market, because there is income stream that buying the token out and driving the appreciation and the demand of that token. So that's the plan for development and marketing. We also built a huge reward program. I'll share it here, that it will be up and running once everything will start it. So it's basically a development of D-vouchers, like bronze, gold, silver, platinum, that when people go in between projects, let's say you go to PDO project, you will be able to basically to do tasks like tweet and register it and join to the Twitter and everything. So there will be tons of tasks, and there will be lotteries, and it will be competition and group reward and staking reward and referral reward. So there will a lot of moving part when it comes to that type of marketing, because this marketing is something that we can do because it's development, we build it, then it's working automatically, versus take money and just give to influencer. We tried that stuff. We try even Cointelegraph. We spent a lot of money in Cointelegraph in the last year or two. There is no really good result. You need to either come with tons of money, but I never saw good marketing whatsoever unless you're actually helping your token to boost to somebody else. If you have a project and you help other projects, and let's say you have a marketplace and project listing you, and because of your unique marketplace, the token boom to the moon, that will make your name. Suddenly everybody will want you. If you have a token that people are using and generate income stream, and they buy the token, and there is a buy pressure all the time, right? I think Chainlink have that method, by the way, that they're using the income stream to drive their own token. That's why we see the token, even when the bear market goes down, you can see that they're still keeping their position and not crushed completely, right? But most of the project in the world doesn't have it, right? Ethereum have it, right? Ethereum income stream, using it as a buyback and everything. But most of the project in the world is just speculation, casino. They don't really correlate the business models. So we have a lot of stuff that we built. Right now, if I'm starting to cover questions, by the way, right now we have a lot of projects that are already completed. So for example, we just sent yesterday, the PDO, yeah, the Dumpster, sorry. We sent yesterday, no, sorry, the PDO. We sent the PDO project. We sent it for auditing yesterday, in order to start the auditing for the PDO. Since I didn't talk about PDO, a few words about it, because a lot of people do not familiar with the PDO. There is a lot of scale. There is a lot of launchpad in the market that helping projects to launch the token, but there is no scale pad, which means once the token is live, nobody really helping those projects to increase liquidity, to increase the value of the token, to basically provide more support to the team as ongoing. And the PDO is basically the first of its kind scale pad that we completely build it. Right now it exists on Binance, Uniswap, Eritreum, and Ethereum, right? Ethereum, I think, launched yesterday. So we have it on all the four, and we have a team, developer teams, that will start to drive project to that in order to push it. And this is something that all our projects are going to use. Not only that it's our own project, and there is PDO token, but also our own project like Smart and Data, and all our project will be basically running PDO on the scale pad, which means people will be able to keep scaling the project on an ongoing basis and not only during the launch time. So as you can see here, there is a lot of building, a lot of project been built, including LP insurance to support LP that will continue to add liquidity to the pools. There is a lot of moving parts. I don't want to dive into each one of them, but my point is that all those parts working standalone, but also working together and support each other, which means we can launch any project by himself, and that's fine, but it may help for the project to basically utilizing all those tools in order to do better. And obviously, whatever we're building for other projects as well. When it comes to communication with the groups, so I told that I'm using the social media in order to give to the team, to the development team, feedbacks. And every time there is an issue, we move in it to them and we make sure that they understand the issue and fix it. But we're also going to implement into our pools, sorry, not pools, into our chat and Discord, and that's going to be open in a few days. We're going to implement a new AI that we developed that will allow people to basically ask questions, and that will drive some real-time answers from our most recent information. So that can be another added value for the Telegram and the Discord. but you will also basically will learn as it goes. So if somebody give an answer and the admin say, yeah, that is correct, then the AI will learn that that's the correct answer, and it will continue to use it as an information. We also build our own PR, automated PR technology, which means I will show you here. So see if I can open that. So what we did, we kind of open Telegram and share. Share screen. Okay. So what we did, we built basically kind of an AI that go to Coin desk and take the information. And by the way, the information here is a summary of the news plus bullish and bearish conclusions. So you immediately can see what's the bearish and the bullish conclusion of every news. You can still go to the news themselves and open the original Cointelegraph, but it's kind of a summary of what's going on in the market. So we wanted to have a place that people will have a summary and maybe it will integrate later on, but also we will use that information in order to automate PR, which means every time there is in the news something that, for example, I think today and yesterday in the news, there was multi-chain, right? So that's a good example. So there was a multi-chain crash that basically been hacked $130 million, right? So every time there is a news that is correlated to whatever we're building, any solution or project that we have, immediately our AI will basically generate a response and tweet it on our Twitter. So it will be immediately hit the market with response about the problem and our solution. So that's something that we built. We even been approached by other projects that say, hey, can we utilize that? So we will allow other projects to utilize it too for themselves. But the idea is basically to have automated PR that not only the PR agency that we have, which is the top in the market, but also automated PR, which means every time something in the news happening, we want immediately to have a response why we think our technology can solve that and do better. So as you can see, we're kind of preparing a lot of stuff during the bear market. We built a lot of stuff. Most of them you don't even see here, but I covered the relevant for that session. And the idea of the bear market is basically prepare ourselves like to the battle. Imagine yourself that the moment that the bull market will start, we don't have time to build. During the bull market, we need to run, push. So we need all those projects, we need all this ammo, we need all this PR, we need all this marketing, we need all those biz dev. So it's kind of a momentum that you build. And the moment that the bull market coming, boom, you're pushing into the market at once and basically try to make it as higher and longer as possible. Again, there is no guarantee which project are going to do better than others. But once you line up everything and prepare yourself fully like we did, I think it will kind of bring us the best result that we can have at the end, right? So let me remove the Telegram for a second. And then I'll go back to the screen. So basically, we are working nonstop, right? We're building a lot of stuff. Every project has its own team. Sometimes projects have between 5 to 7, 5 to 9 people that working around it. So it's a huge team. We have like a lot of project going on. So we're talking about 50 plus people in the team just working around it. And now we're going to add another 20 for BizDave and another 10 for the Smart. So it's like 30 people that we will add and all this technology and automate it. So it's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, you can see what other questions we had in the AMA. I can cover them too. Okay. All right. So the first question was that there is no even single functionality product yet. And as I showed, the Damper Shield and the PDO and the LP insurance and the degen, they all fully function. Even smart now as an alpha beta is function, but not fully. And then the second the question was, give us a date. So let's talk about two dates, right? There is a date when project go live, and there is a date when the token go live. So when it comes to the project, I don't want to give a date. I want, if the project is ready, even as an alpha or beta, I want to release. I don't want date. I want people to start using it immediately as soon as possible. So like we operate right now, the smart is not fully function, but it's function. And every day we'll continue to improve that. I want it to be out there, and I want to get feedback from people. So when it's come to using the project, instantly. When it's come to have the token himself launch, right? We decided a few months ago that we don't want to hold tokens. We want to give them to the users as a self-custody, because some of the group syndication groups that syndicate money for those users go under. Some of them not exist. They still need to solve for some group issues that whoever lead them is not there anymore. I need to still figure out how to help them out. And we decided that we don't want to be in scenario that more users get burned because of their syndication. So we give those tokens as a self-custody. They're not yet launched, but they're behind the damper shield, which means the timing behind the damper shield already started. Which means, if you remember, 12 months, originally 12 months, sorry, 90 days staking plus 12 months, right? That's what it was. So, by the way, if we done from the first get-go, the moment after we finish to raise money, if we will do 90 days and 12 months, that means that everybody's supposed to go to the market at once in the middle of last year, the middle of the bear market, which means that could be a disaster, right? When everybody going together to the market during a bear and there is no buy pressure, there is no project generate income stream. So that can drive the token all the way to the ground, absolutely kill it. So the idea, actually, the smart thing that we did is not to launch. It's very smart, because the token basically didn't go under whatever is behind the damper shield I showed you. Whoever asking to buy from somebody else 90% discount, there is barely people that willing to sell for that. Most of them selling 2-3x above whatever they bought for. So it's very minority, but still you saw 3 million tokens already been bought by 60 transactions by people to people, right? Project will be launched immediately as soon as it's ready. And then the token himself, we want to launch it either by when we have an income stream that we can use it as a buy pressure, or the moment that the market is ready, when the market becomes to be bullish. Now, I know that right now it seems like we already finished the bear market. It seems like we kind of starting to look into the bull market. Everybody have assumption. I talk with a lot of people. I get different answer for people what they're thinking. Everybody thinking different date when the market will start to be bullish. But I think we're no longer to see a big dump. I think we're going to get flat a little bit, sideways, and maybe it's going to start to be built from here. So I will say that we are kind of get closer and closer. From my perspective, even if I want to launch today, I still need to wait for Uniswap version 4 for the token. So because we build on top of them, so we need them to basically open the version 4. They're about to do that very soon. So I don't know if it take a month or two, but they're kind of on the finale to finalize the version 4 to be open. They by themselves want to hit the market before the bull run will start, and we're doing piggybacking on top of them. So it kind of will be on the same time. So I can say that I think we will hit the market with the tokens once Uniswap version 4 will go live, which will be before the bull run. And let's see what other questions we had here. So people ask about how much basically money remained and stuff. So like I say, I want to explain something that's very important. We have a kind of a royalty tokens, right, which allow people that hold our tokens to enjoy from the income stream and everything. But we do not have traditional tokens. Traditional tokens, they are more like equity tokens and share tokens and basically ownership tokens. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that we are a US company, right? We're not European. We are a US company. And in US company, you are subject to regulation. And we need to make sure a lot of stuff. So, for example, one of them is discrimination. we cannot prefer one user over another. We have to give fair everything for everybody. So when we change the capacity of how many tokens we're going to have originally in the smart, that basically diluting people, which means hurting them. So we had to go back to people and say, listen, we're no longer going to have X amounts of token, we're going to have more, which means you're going to get diluted. Do you want to stay or do you want a refund? And we refund back then when we changed the rules, millions of dollars, right? Not question asked. We didn't ask. People ask the money, we send the money back, no question asked. And whoever left, there was some people that basically start since then until today to ask a refund. We don't offer a refund unless we basically change the contract and say, okay, you no longer have one token, you have now half a token, right? So if you bought something, a product, if you bought a TV from Samsung and they gave you, instead of TV, they gave you a chair, yeah, you're eligible for refund. But if you bought a TV, got your TV, right? Doesn't matter if it's version 2, version 3, or they upgrade the software behind the scene or the company go IPO or not, that's not affecting your product. So when people buy the product of the tokens, we also need to make sure that there will be no continued discrimination. What that means, we have a lot of projects. And I said before that we allow people to move between the project. And I said before that once you move from project A to project B, we will do that for you. You will do it by yourself, by the way, from the Dumper Shield. You'll be able to do that. But you will not be able to be first position, which means you will not be able to take a place and liquidity that belongs to the guy that actually bought a token in that original project that you're moving into. Now, imagine to yourself a scenario that we didn't have that instrument like we have, and we have traditional token, right? Like equity and ownership and stuff. In that case, that can be a disaster because user can go to court and say, hey, I invest money to buy this token. This money being used to build all those projects. Therefore, I want the same percentage of equity or tokens that I have in this project in each one of them, right? So basically, in that scenario, it's very risky because it can cause the scenario that people may want to be placed on first position. It's the same amount of token on all projects. And that's why we try to be very careful when we're treating users that holding a tokens as a customers, like you're buying a TV or you're buying anything else, and not as a shareholders that we basically, in shareholders, it's different. Shareholders, you sharing their information, financial, different stuff, right? But when you're buying a token, it's different type of class, it's different kind. By the way, I don't know if some of you understand the rule in the United States. Most of the projects that they have tokens, and I'm not talking about security, not security, everybody already know that information since 2017. But once the SEC will finish with security and not security, I can guarantee to you they will move to the next problem. The next problem in the United States, and actually in every jurisdiction in the world, is once we have too many shareholders, let's say above 100 or above 2,000, depending if you're LLC or C corporate, they will force you to be a public company, which means you cannot have a token that's sold to zillion, billion people, because then you become to be a public company. You have to be a public company. So the next problem of crypto project is that their token is basically a security, but not only from security point of view, but also from be a public company point of view. They have to turn to be a public company. With that security, like we have, it's not, which means we don't have a problem. We can welcome unlimited tokens holders because it's not an equity security, it's a debt security, it's a different instrument, right? And we try to keep that line very clear in order not to cross it over. But I can tell you that we have all the money that's needed in order to finish the development as we plan it and everything else around it. But we do not have money that we didn't plan for, like marketing. But we try to raise more money and build more tools to overcome that issue. The next
you never raised any money for marketing?
No. We never raised money for marketing. No, our original plan to be only B2B. We originally B2B and not B2C.
What happened with the one when you said in the past that there was like $1 million program with Cointelegraph that you were going to do or something?
No,
like that?
we said that we have in the middle of a deal structure to try to Cointelegraph try to see if they can invest in our project, and then they basically been disrupted with all the bear market and everything, but their plan was to basically contribute $1 million value of articles and covering for our project. We still have a deal with them, right? We will do that, but it will not be $1 million. It will be less because they try to come up with rules that will create discrimination between what they want versus what you got, and we cannot allow discrimination. So that's an issue. Every time, if we will do a discrimination, it's open the door to big issues, and we don't want to be in that position. So the next question was, let's see. I think the next question is that what's the plan for the marketing? So we talked about that. We took the utility token. So our token basically is a royalty token, like I explained. So the income stream basically go and buy the token from the DREX, pumping the price, and then move it out of the circulation. So it's like a double down that increase the value of the token to the left holders. The next question, why not listing the DIGAN? So basically, like I said, we will list the DIGAN on DREX, which is basically Uniswap, the new version 4. Once we'll do that, we're also going to do PancakeSwap, and we may open other chain as well. By the way, I know that some of our tokens are like Smart and DGen, and even PDO, they are on Binance Smart Chain. We're not going to stay on Binance Smart Chain. We're going to move away from Binance Smart Chain because it's become to be really not supported network for us to have the token on. So we will probably have a ability for people to from the Dumper Shield, you will be able to like using the gateway to move between projects, you will be able to basically send your token from Binance Smart Chain, get the same token on Polygon or Arbitrum by click of a button. It's still going to be behind the Dumper Shield, but one click you'll be able to switch the token to different network. So we are not going to do manually work, because with manually work and distribution, there is a lot of missing. I don't want to do it anymore. It's requiring a lot of attention to make sure that everybody got exactly like they need, and manual work always can go wrong. So I try to build everything automatically so people will do it by themselves. People ask when kind of MVP will be released. So as you can see, we already released the Smart Exchange. And by the way, Smart Swap, which it was the brand, is now Smart Exchange, Smart.exchange. So that will be basically the brand, Smart, but Exchange, not Smart Swap. And it's already as an MVP available on downloading as an extension to your browser right now. The next question was salaries of developers. Again, we are not going to get into how much salaries we pay to our developers and who they are. We already suffered 3 years ago, I think, yeah. 3 years ago, we kind of bought people to Zoom calls, and we share who they are, and they've been start to reach out by other projects. Believe it or not, there is a lot of crypto projects in the market, but there is not many crypto project developers that know what they're doing in the market. A lot of them copycat, a lot of them doesn't know even what they're doing, they just copy that. We have developers that kind of, been paid X amount, and suddenly they've been offered like 200,000 and 250,000, and we had to go and beat that offers in order to keep them. So it's crazy competition. If you have a good developer, good leader, people want him. And we don't want to lose our team for somebody that's offering another back for them. By the way, how much? The next question is if the extension will be 75% functionality ready. It's not 75%. It's actually, if I can guess numbers, I will say 25 right now, because there is still the Vault need to be developed, the apps that need to be added, the AI that need to be added, the expedite that need to be added. So there is more to do, but we are keep doing it. But every day we'll keep adding more and more. We also work with the stores like the Google Store in order to improve, because you know how they're sensitive, the App Store, Google Store, they're really sensitive when it comes to cryptocurrency. So we try to work with them in order to stay in their guideline how to do it in the based on their regulated, and they give us feedback back and forth until it been approved. So in what order the project in the ecosystem will be released? There is no really order. Whatever is ready is out. So PDO is ready, Damper Shield is ready, Degen is ready, now NFT and LP insurance and Direx, the kind of about to be ready and go live too. So whatever is ready, we open it. The next question, somebody said that SmartSwap and DigenSwap not needed in the space since other projects like Uniswap solve those stuff, and there is a cost chain. The next question is also similar, Polygon 2.0, that is unified liquidity. I totally agree. That was my conclusion a few months ago. I got to the same conclusion that since we built decentralized cost chain and everybody else didn't really care about cost chain decentralized, they just build the cost chain centralized or hybrid. They basically moved to the market faster and gain more traction. And now that start with Uniswap version 4 and unified Polygon and other, it seems like all those, a lot of DEXs out there probably not going to survive. There will be very few that are going to survive. I totally agree with that. That's why we change and pivot our business model, sorry, not business model, our tech solution. So instead of being a cost chain, we basically now become to be layer 2, right? First of its kind layer 2 virtual wallet, which means we now on top of every DEXs, we're on top of every decentralized exchanges, cross chain. So even if you have cross chain and DEX out there, it will work above them as a layer, like an umbrella. And it's not even require security because it's driving the same security that you have from your own wallet, MetaMask or Trust Wallet. And when it comes to Polygon, I do believe that there is a way that if Polygon will want to lead the other chain on Ethereum, there is a way how to simplify the cost chain between the same chain, like same network, like Ethereum. They can simplify that, make it faster, cheaper. But once they will want to move to Cosmos group or Polkadot group or Bitcoin group or Cardano group or Josh Mo next blockchain group, there will be time delay because have to be, otherwise there will be attack 51%, and therefore expedite will be required. So our need again will be on top of them, and it will provide them better. We're not competing with them anymore. We actually serve them all. If you have a cost chain, we're actually helping your cost chain because we help your user to get, instead of wrap token, to get the end token, and we will use you to get the wrap token and then switch it to the end token. But user do not need to suffer so many clicks and suffer 30 minute, 10 minutes, 5 minute time waiting. For him, it will be end of the token that he's looking for and instantly right away, right? The next question is, let's see. So here they're basically asking about how we're going as a strategic going to launch the Smart. So I mentioned that we don't have marketing budget. We have enough money to build it and pivot that, but we do have money for biz development. We took it under consideration. We have money for PR. We already paid for that, so we have it under consideration. But we'll need to figure out how to raise more money in order to do marketing for the entire ecosystem. But we also use our own solution that we built for marketing, like the program and affiliate program and the reward program, in order to drive marketing. So here another question about if we're expecting to launch token next year. I don't think the bull run will be next year. I think it's going to start before, but I'm not a prophet. I mean, maybe it will start in January, February, maybe we will start in December or November. I don't know. Whenever the market will be ready, and definitely when Uniswap version 4 first will be ready, we can catch that wave. and basically have the token ready to go. Obviously, we'll generate income stream, which is not realistic by that short of time. But if we had their income stream coming in the door from the project and can support buyback token and push the token as a buy pressure, we don't need momentum. We can open the token to the market at any time. So here another question about refund. We don't do any refund. We don't have any legal against us in any way or shape. So there was, I can tell you a secret, that there was one investor that invests in different projects, and basically he tried to get kind of better terms than the other investor that we had. And it wasn't a token holder, it was a shareholder in the company, right? Traditional shareholder. And then he sued the company for $1 billion because he thought that he should have ownership over much more than what he bought. But eventually he dropped that. I mean, court also said to him to drop it, but he dropped it. And we welcome him back and give him basically everything that we promised him, but no more than what we actually promised, because nobody should be bullied or nobody should be forced to do anything if it's not from free will. So we will never be bullied or forced, even if it's to go to court or whatever. It's reasonable. But that being said, I can guarantee to you that we may not going to have lawsuit against us now, but once one of our company will be a unicorn, every unicorn in the world have a lawsuit. It's like a hobby. When a lawyer see that you have a unicorn, $1 billion company or more, they definitely want to sue you for whatever, right? Why the sun is not shining in the right direction. So they really want to sue you, and every unicorn, every big company in the Silicon Valley and in the world facing those every day. And that's fine. It's mean that we made it. It's mean that we are large enough. It's mean that people really try to get more than they deserve because they think that there is somewhere to take. So it's a good thing, even though it sounds like it's bad. And we do have budget for attorneys. It's part of the budget plan from the beginning. We have 2 firms that we're working with. So we don't play game with that. If something needed, we went to battle one. And it can drop. We have that budget ready to go. As a backup, it's important that every startup will put budgets like that. The next question is that provide exact date, plus minus 30 days. Again, I cannot provide when the market will become to be bullish. I can say that our project will be launched immediately, the moment that they're ready. But when the token will be launched, it's subject to when the market will start to be bullish. Because if we don't have income stream, we need the market to have momentum as a FOMO, right? Otherwise, what's the point? Launching a token and people dump, but nobody buy. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And let's see. Again, question about money, how much we have left. So I say we have enough to develop everything that we plan for, but not marketing. And then somebody asked here, I think that was the last question that didn't pop up before I check them out. Somebody asked here about the Twitter. Yeah, we own the Twitter, no problem. And we actually, with the AI that's going to post automatically response by Quantum Finance will be basically, let me see if I can, sorry, actually we want Twitter. The moment that there will be news in a few days, I think next week actually, because we're in the weekend already. But next week we'll start to push to the Twitter, basically news that coming in real time. So we have few Twitter. One of them is for Quantum Finance. You can see here, that's the Quantum Finance Twitter, and that's where we will push basically on daily basis those automatically PR, which I think is going to also doing great because nobody responding so fast as a PR. Today, you need to go to your agency, prepare a response, then until you launch that response, the next year's already hit. So what we'll do is very new and refreshing. Yeah, so I think I covered all the questions. We have 9 more minutes left. So I don't mind if somebody wants to raise his hand and ask me another question or two. We can cover in those 9 minutes. Let's see if anybody raised the hand for more question. Go between with raising the hand. I didn't see anyone raising hand for more questions. Okay, so yeah, so I think we covered. Oh, let me see here in the chat. I think in the chat there was a question. Let me see. When Degen will be traded? That's the question. Degen right now is behind the Dumper Shield because investor extend that. So if you go to the Dumper Shield, you will be able to obviously buy and sell it from there. And also once the market will become to be bullish, we will definitely open all the tokens to the market to be traded. Subject obviously first to version 4 Uniswap to be ready, because like I said, DRX is piggybacking on top of Uniswap version 4. But if somebody wants to buy or sell basically Degen, you can go to the Dumper Shield. Let me get over here to show example. And also the Dumper Shield will be, we're working on expedite the time loading, because I noticed that it's also take time to bring all the information to the front. So it's also take time. So that's another thing that we're working on. Then another person asked about Kyle. Is he coming? So Kyle is still part of the company, but is no longer basically active on the fund. And he may going to be active down the road or not. It's depending on how stuff will be developed. Right now, we kind of not doing any marketing or anything else. So we're kind of focusing on development only, which is the smart thing to do, by the way, during the bear market. Is absolutely take all your sources, money and time, and put it on preparing whatever you're building. So when the bull market will start, then you will be ready to go to the market. So Kyle will have a room to come back when the market will be ready, and if he will feel that it's a good position for him, yeah, I think we'll see him again. You said somebody want to buy Degen. The problem is that I think you said nobody, no one will buy. I mean, there is transaction that been made on Degen. Let me see why it's not loading. Let me change channel, go back. There is a lot of transaction that been made on the Dumper Shield, including Degen and Smart. I don't have the right exact numbers like we have for Smart that we put here, because we will upgrade that in a few days. But I think the few millions of Degen been bought. The only difference is that if I will open the Dumper Shield in a second to show you, it's my sometimes I'm going with VPN because some of the app doesn't work well as United States. So I want to see if it's interfere with our Dumper Shield. It's not loading on my end. Probably there is some issue. Try again to load it. But once you go to the Damper Shield, I don't know if your internet or your connection is loading on your side, but once you go to the Damper Shield, you'll see that most of the people that list for sale their own degen, look on the prices. There is a chart, there is a candles. You can look on the prices. People asking like way above what they bought it for, right? So obviously, in order to sell something with 10x, 20x more than what you paid for, you need a buy pressure or a lot of FOMO, right, in the market. So I don't see much people selling below the exact amount that they're selling for. Go check the chart. You will see the digit people asking way above what they asked for, right? What they bought it for. Let's see if we have another question. Somebody say that all the project doesn't work well. Yes, so true. Some of them, they're under development, under processing. So for example, when this one is not loading well, it's another thing to work and see what to do to improve that. Like I said, we do not work in waterfall. We'll not build something and after 2-3 years release it. We don't copy something else. After 3 weeks, we can release it. We're building something and releasing it, even if it's not perfect. So since you bought something that belonged to a project in the ground floor, do not expect it to be a unicorn from the get-go. Expect it to be failed, expect it to have a problem, expect it to have challenges, expect it to have a lot of problem from tech point of view, but also marketing point of view. And the project expecting you to provide feedback. That's why you got the permission to buy something on the ground floor in a discount, because your job is to provide feedback, what's not working, how to improve it, what else can be done. And our responsibility is to basically make it happen. Now, if we're working together as a team, you know, it's like a lot of people thinking that, oh, the project need to do whatever they need to do, and we will wait for the magic to happen. It doesn't work like that. I can guarantee to you that if you will not help, the project will go nowhere. It doesn't work like that. You need to contribute. You need to contribute your knowledge. You need to contribute your feedback. You need to contribute your experience. You need to contribute your connection. You need to contribute if you really want to make it happen. We can build the best tech in the world. We can do business development as much as we can. But as a community, if you're not supporting and pushing all day long, you say, how can we flip a coin? Why it's not open? Why it's not trading? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying why it's not trading? If it's trading today, right now, if I open it for trading, what good with that? What are you going to do? Who is going to buy it from you? If you're going to dump, everybody dump, it will cause a rest to the bottom. It doesn't make sense. So what you need to do is either, if you don't want to be part of this project, you need to walk away. Go to the Damper Shield. Believe me or not, those that didn't want to be here, right? 60 transactions, few millions of tokens being sold on each token, they're gone. People bought them all, right? But if you want to stay here, if you want to be part of that, start to go on Telegram and all day long asking the same question, when it's going to be live. Instead, bring partnership. Instead, try to bring connection. Instead, try to contribute your knowledge. Try to test the project. Don't text me here, it's not working. Give me a feedback. What's not working? So I can give it to the dev in order to sell that. I know not everything is working. That's what's the idea of building something and releasing it early to the community so we can test it out and work out to fix it. You are not the customers that coming to a final project. You are early customers that got a special price to buy into the ground floor in exchange, not for your money, but for your money and your added value. That's why you're here. So if you're thinking that is one-way relationship, that we're building something and up is go, I can guarantee to you, do not expect your token to be appreciated. If you want the project to be better and do better, make it do better. Help us, right? It's very important that you will help us in any way that you can help us. So stop asking what we do. Try to contribute something that you can do. So I think we covered everything for today. We kind of summarize all the questions and answer all of them and go by all the project and all the plans. Obviously, people know me that when somebody wants to jump on a call one-on-one, if it's really necessary and need, I all the time take calls. But that being said, I'm very serious. Try to contribute, start to help. Whining is not helping why the world is not better. This is your project, like my project, like the team project, like everybody project. Help us to make it better, right? So that's the end of the line. All right, so I hope that you appreciate the call and the covering, and I hope that I cover everything that's needed for you for this time. Like I said, we will break down the videos in a way that it will be useful for people to watch it chapter by chapter for specific subject. All right, that's it for today. Thank you, and good weekend for you all. I'm still working, so it's a regular week for me, but good weekend for everybody else. Bye.